You may be thinking to yourself right now, Amy, I took your advice that you shared in your last video and I wrote out everything because I was stressing out and I wanted to de-stress. So I took your advice, I wrote it out, but now what do I do with it? We're going to talk about that in this video. Hey friends, thanks for tuning in to this video. I'm excited to help you process what I affectionately call the brain dump that you would have done from my previous video. Now that you have all of this information written out, it's time to figure out what to do with it. It's going to take a couple of passes of reading over what you've written. So I would pull out what you've written on one side and grab a second piece of blank paper to put down next to it as we process through your brain dump. The first step as you read over what you've written down is to take a highlighter or a pen or pencil to circle or underline items as you go. And what you're going to be looking for in this first pass are two different things. The first thing is items that you can't do anything about. And I want you to mark those because you're going to list them, you're going to realize you can't do anything about them, and you're going to let go of worrying about them. And then the second thing that you're going to look for are things that you can do something about. And I want you to highlight that in a different color or circle it instead of underline it and sort through the things that you've written down. Now that we have clarity about the things that we can do something about and the things that we can't, we're going to tackle the things that we can do something about today. As you look over this list, I want you to categorize any tasks or to-dos that belong together as a project. Look for any projects, anything that's related, and give that grouping of tasks a name. If they're a bunch of random, separate, unrelated things, that's fine. You can leave them as is. But if you have a few things on your list that are tied into one area, you can go ahead and write a heading with that project name and what those tasks are that are falling underneath it, just to get them organized. Now that we have some projects and tasks listed out, this next step I pull from David Allen's methodology called Getting Things Done. And in this methodology, he wants you to look at the tasks and the projects that you have on your list and determine what your next action is. This makes moving things forward really easy because you're breaking it down to literally what the next action is. It could be picking up the phone to make a phone call. It could be doing research about companies that you want to work with. It could be getting your shoes repaired, but wait, you actually need to find a cobbler that can repair your shoes. So your next action is to research and find a good cobbler. So you see, not all of our tasks that we think of right away are the actual next action. We need to take a little bit of a deeper look and determine, oh no, what I really actually need to be doing is this. And it makes the step a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to tackle. Now that we've determined what our next actions are for our projects and our task list, we are going to do some prioritization. Ever heard of the Eisenhower Matrix? Well, that's what we're going to do with our list of tasks right now. The Eisenhower Matrix is such a great tool because it really helps you see what is vying for your attention, what is potentially causing the tyranny of the urgent, what are these little fires that seem so big and urgent that you put them out, and then what are truly the most important things that you should be putting your time and attention to. So the Eisenhower Matrix is this. You can take a box, you can do this with another blank piece of paper if you'd like. Draw a cross section in the middle so that you have 4 boxes, and then write out the heading of each quadrant. So we have 2 spectrums. Along the top spectrum you have urgent and not urgent, and then along the side spectrum you have important and not important. So in one corner you're going to have a box that's labeled urgent and important. Then next to that you're going to have urgent, not important, and then the next one down you're going to have not urgent, important, and then on the final corner you have not urgent, not important. So the last exercise in this video is to take a look at your next actions, your list of tasks, and break them down into the Eisenhower Matrix. And you're going to begin to see the items that you should be working on and the items that you shouldn't be. And you might have to make some hard decisions when you realize that some of the not important, urgent items that are vying for your attention and the not urgent, not important items that are also on your list, you may want to delete those items. Finally, now that you have all your tasks split up into the 4 quadrants, here's how you want to tackle each quadrant. The first quadrant that you want to tackle is the urgent and important tasks. These are ones that you're going to want to get on your schedule and get taken care of. The second quadrant is the non-urgent important tasks. Again, you're going to want to put these in your schedule so that you actually get them done. Because they're not urgent, they may not be vying for your attention, but when reviewing them, you realize the potential effect that not doing these could have on your life. So you want to make sure that you're getting those in your schedule so you get them done. They're not urgent, but they are important. The third quadrant that you want to deal with is the urgent, not important list. This is an interesting quadrant because you have options. You really want to think about your option of potentially deferring these tasks or potentially delegating these tasks. There are things that need to get done. They're not terribly important in moving your goals forward, so maybe you can delegate them. Consider this, and let's move on to the last quadrant. The last quadrant is not urgent, not important. The big reality is you should delete these tasks. Of course, that is up to you, but you've realized after prioritizing out all of these items that these things are not important to your life and they're not urgent, they don't need to get done. So let's just delete them off of your to-do list. Or better yet, you could create a not to-do list and list these items out because you're deciding purposefully and intentionally, I'm not going to do these. All right, so hopefully you have gone through your brain dump, you've sorted out your items of things that you have control over and things you don't have control over, and then you've taken a look at your projects, your to-dos, you've broken them down into your next actions, and then you've prioritized them through the Eisenhower Matrix. Whew, that was great. I hope that you have done this exercise, that you really take some intentional time to prioritize your tasks with the Eisenhower Matrix, and then take some action on those quadrants. Not sure the best way to take action and be organized and productive with these tasks? Well, stay tuned for future videos where I'm going to be covering different methodologies and productivity systems that you can take these tasks and make them happen. I'm excited to be sharing these with you, and I hope that you can find something that works really well for you. There is not a one-size-fits-all for people. I think we're all wired differently. We all are motivated differently, and it's good to figure out what works for you so that you can be successful in pursuing those goals and those visions that you've created. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to sharing more content like this in the future with you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next video. Have a great day.